There is a growing perception in contemporary society that women place self-interest and personal fulfillment ahead of the potential long-term effects of their choices, particularly in relationships. This behavior is sometimes linked to modern interpretations of feminism, which emphasize individualism and the pursuit of personal fulfillment. Decisions made during emotional upheaval, such as a midlife crisis, can sometimes result in regrettable outcomes, despite the fact that the desire for autonomy and self-empowerment is legitimate and significant. Relationship choices are one significant area where this manifests. During a midlife crisis, some women choose more exhilarating, but ultimately unsustainable, relationships over stable, caring partners because they are looking for novelty or excitement. This choice, which is motivated by a desire to escape what they perceive to be stagnation or to regain a sense of youth, can lead to relationships with toxic people who are not suitable for long-term commitment. The emotional upheaval and regret that come with these choices frequently outweigh the immediate satisfaction they bring.
Why do women regret leaving this type of guy? I'm about to tell you in this video. First off, it took them a while to commit to begin with. Then when they finally do commit and they're settled and they're in a relationship, and a woman decides to either end the relationship, they cheat, or they do something that betrays this type of man's trust. Essentially, when you hurt this type of guy, ladies, there is no coming back from that. It's almost an impossibility.
I'm not gonna lie, she hit the nail right on the head. A lot of women realize that they got a good man, but that's just not enough. I'm almost convinced that a lot of women out there don't want a good man. They want somebody that's toxic or somebody that got a little toxic in them. That's why I always say, always prepare for women to leave you. The name of the game is cop and blow. You never know when your girl gonna go. But make sure you follow my page if you like more game like this.
It really hasn't deterred finding somebody who is serious about dating me at all.
But are they good men who will stick around in the long term? Are they the kind of guys who are virtuous? You're a very attractive girl, but
Thank you.
you're 21 years old right now,
Yeah.
right? Yes, you're going to find, you guys are beautiful women. You guys are going to find guys that want to marry you. Are they the kind of guys that are going to stick around? Are they the kind of guys that are solid men? Are you guys going to have good relationships that will last a long time?
I had a man crying, screaming, and throwing up last night because he found out I was going on dates with other people. And then I said, well, it doesn't feel like you're pursuing me. And then he said, but I'd love to pursue you more. I just don't want to come off as clingy. And then I suggested he stand in his authenticity and show up as himself and declare how he feels about me. If he wants to know me better. I'm open to it. And he said, okay, let's talk tomorrow. Tomorrow is today. I haven't heard from him, and honestly, I'm so detached from dating now, so I'm just like going about my biz. I get a 2-minute voice note from him letting me know that actually he's not ready for a relationship, and he has to date casually right now. I don't give a shit, but do you see like how sometimes I feel like men have brain damage?
The fact he was angry when he found out she was seeing other people proved he was trying to take her seriously for a relationship. After he found out she belonged to the streets, she tried to suggest he should try harder. Good for him for deciding to walk away from her. He came to his senses.
Good for him.
Rejecting good partners in order to find excitement can also perpetuate harmful patterns which can result in repeated disappointments and a diminished sense of self-worth. A negative feedback loop can form as a result of the accumulation of these experiences over time, in which the initial desire for empowerment and fulfillment leads to the exact opposite, a profound sense of loss and dissatisfaction. Modern women are realizing that the steady, respectful men they used to ignore are actually the partners they really need. After experiencing the negative effects of choosing the wrong relationships, this awakening frequently occurs. If you rejected a good guy but accepted the bad guy, when he hurts you, don't you dare say all men are the same. Selena Gomez wisely observed. Her words show that more and more women are realizing that putting short-term excitement and unpredictability ahead of qualities like respect, loyalty, and peace can make them regret it in the long run. Some women have chosen relationships with men who embody toxic traits in the name of thrill and novelty, mistaking their unpredictability for passion. Because these relationships are typically damaging and unsustainable, this choice frequently results in emotional suffering and disappointment. Unfortunately, they often reflect on what could have been when they realize they've overlooked truly good men too late. The fact that many good men, discouraged by repeated rejections, may feel pressured to change themselves and adopt a more aggressive or rogue demeanor in order to attract attention makes the situation even more complicated.
A few years ago, I thought that I had it all, and there was something missing from my life. So I did things with the guy who treated me like a princess and would have been the best husband to me. And I started chasing this feeling that was never matched.
That unexplained feeling that she could do better, that's called hypergamy. Red pill guys have been talking about it for years. It's the woman's biological need to always look for the best possible mate she can find. A lot of women are always looking to trade up. It's biology, it's psychology, it's in their DNA, it's science. It's also one of the reasons why a lot of modern women will never be truly happy.
For 10 years, I got married young. I was 21, barely, like 3 days, 21. Already had a baby. He was 8 weeks old at our wedding. And I remember feeling like my marriage was temporary from the beginning. Like that I wasn't gonna make it. And I didn't know what that feeling was. I just thought it was.
So let me get this straight. She was married for 10 years, strung this man along for 10 years, had children with this man, and knew from the beginning that she didn't want to marry him. Marriage is forever, and it's not temporary, and age is not an excuse in my opinion. But there's more to the story, so continue.
Fighting for me, I was pushing him away. But I never truly accepted happiness. I left the good guy. He looks at and is like, that's a dad, that's a husband, that's how it's supposed to be. He did the dishes, he cleaned the house, he took the kids to school, he worked all day, he made good money, he supported us. I mean, yeah, we had our problems, but he was the good guy. So I'm here to tell you, it's okay to leave the good guy.
She's lucky, because there are a lot of women in her position that messed it up with good dudes for selfish reasons, because they didn't want to be controlled. They didn't see the bigger picture of being with a guy. They just knew that I didn't want that. I want more excitement. Modern women want this excitement. It's got to keep it, gotta make me tangle. Make a brother want to say. But this is real life. Because I can tell you, I don't go backwards. I don't like going backwards. There's a reason why you broke up with a person. Can people change? Yes. But I also know that people, when they get around you and they know you, they're going to revert back to where they're most comfortable with you at. Might start off fine for a little bit. But once a person settles in back being comfortable with you, sometimes it's worse than it was when you started.
However, this shift frequently results in a loss of authenticity and can set in motion a vicious cycle in which genuine, caring men become increasingly difficult to find. A grave reality in focusing on fervor over dependability, a few ladies put themselves in a position for future misery. The takeaway from this is crystal clear. In relationships, respect, loyalty, and peace should never be undervalued. Before it's too late, it can save a lot of heartache to recognize the value of good partners.
I did a video on why good guys are boring. I think it's only fair I do a video on why girls love bad boys. It's the charm. Bad boys are very charming, extremely charming. And they know women inside and out. Like, it's always the bad guys that be knowing exactly how to talk to you and exactly how to move with you. And bad boys honestly give you a challenge. Like, as much as people want to say, oh, it's toxic and this and that, like, there's a certain level where, like, I feel like your partner should be able to challenge you. And I must admit, like, who doesn't love a good chase? Like, I think healthy chase is not so terrible. I don't think you should give everything all at once. That's what makes the relationship boring, when you dump everything all at the beginning. But I also have to admit, it's ego. I think the more someone shows you that they don't want you, the more you want them. That goes for men and women. I don't know, there's just something about bad boys. It's like they know how to show you the right amount of what you need. But they're just damn right players. They're no good.
Go for the boring guy? Let me explain. Hey, I'm Amanda. I'm your cautionary tale. Follow me for more single mom advice. I've been through it all and trying to help you avoid the same mistakes that I made. So at a therapy session, my therapist said, you need to go for the boring guy. Like, what do you mean? Like, I want adventure. I want excitement. I just got out of this terrible toxic relationship. She's like, no. She goes, you're used to toxic relationships. That's what you know. You have to retrain your brain. That's actually not the kind of guy you want. You're gonna think this guy is boring, but he's not really. You think you want the guy that whisks you off to Hawaii or Vegas. It's helicopter rides, like on The Bachelor. No. You want the guy that sets up your bleacher seat before you arrive at your son's baseball game. You want the guy that, when you sit down after dinner to watch a show, says, whatever you want, babe. You want the guy that when you call him in the middle of the day and he's busy, he still picks up the phone and says, you okay? Everything okay?
I get it. I really do. But he didn't even fight for me. Yeah, it's been 2 days. He didn't even call.
You guys in a relationship?
Yeah.
No.
Oh. Okay, well, you say yeah, you say no.
We are not. And I told him that and didn't see it going any further. He agreed. He didn't even try.
How most entitled modern women keep losing good men.
I have 3 kids, but 2 are grown and 1 is 13. So would I be entitled to a high value man? And I make 6 figures.
I feel like I'm the exception to the rule. But
no, you're not. That's the problem. You all think you're the exception to the rule, but your life has proven to you that you're not.
Were you married to their fathers?
Yes.
Okay, but you're divorced now?
Yes.
How tall are you?
5'7".
Dress size?
14. Yes.
If you worked at Walmart, would you be wanting the same kind of man you want now?
It would be in a different mind frame.
You may be in a different mind frame, but you'd still be in the same body. At the end of the day, man, you ladies have a disagreement with reality. So I get that you may want them, but what does he want? That's what you ladies need to ask yourself.
Hi darlings, let's talk about being nearly 30 but definitely being single. If you are new to my page, my TikTok, my name's Zoe, I'm 29 and I'm turning 30 in July and I am single. I have been single now for 3 years. There was a little something in between, but honestly at this point it doesn't even count. I have kind of done my life a little bit backwards. Around 25 years old, I'd been in a really long-term relationship. I bought a house with this guy, totally envisaged being together for the rest of our lives. Literally, when we bought our house, there was a nursery at the end of the road and we talked about sending our theoretical future children there. So this was very serious. But I had like a little bit of a midlife crisis. I think I felt like I was settling down way too early and way too young and I just hadn't lived my life yet. We broke up. So I did have another relationship after that was very toxic and emotionally abusive. That's another story for another day. We now are where we are now, which is pretty much 3 years single and approaching 30 this summer.
This is hilarious and a common theme amongst modern women. She had a great guy, bought a house with him and was thinking about having children with him. But she broke up with him because she wanted to explore other options and ride the carousel instead. After that, she has only met guys who treated her badly. She rejected the good guy for a bad guy, and now she is paying the price for it.
Well, it's her own fault.
Am I a little bit broken? Am I at the point in my life where I've just kind of, I guess maybe worried myself from being alone and also being burnt that I just have put up blockers because I just find it easier to be on my own and reduce my likelihood of being hurt. Now, please don't get me wrong, I definitely don't feel positive about being on my own all the time. I actually had an experience at my stepsister's wedding. This was a few years ago, pretty much when I first became single as to where I still am today. And it was when it was the first dance song, and I've never dreaded it more in my life. But the reality was honestly so much worse than I actually thought it would be. Obviously, the couple went onto the dance floor, did their dance, and it gets to that bit where they invite everyone else onto the dance floor. And I'm not even joking, I looked around and every single person was in a couple, and it was just me stood at the side. I was actually with like a little kid who was like a cousin of someone else in the family, and she was stood next to me kind of right at the beginning, and I was like, oh, like, let's go and dance together. Like, she was like 4 or something, and even she burst into tears, and I was like, brilliant. I stood there alone, literally burst into tears, and took myself to the bathroom to kind of sort myself out. It's moments like that where kind of like love and relationships and that kind of stuff is really forced in your face that can actually be quite hard. It's a wedding, like I expected that, but I don't think I expected it to hurt as much as it did.
This is the type of life women create for themselves, a life where they really want a relationship, but pushed away the good guys to be alone and cry at weddings. They either destroy the good relationships they have in order to get dug out by Chad and Tyrone, or they spend hours complaining on TikTok, wondering where all the good men have gone. I really hope the first great guy she dated moved on to find a great woman who actually appreciates him.
And that wraps up today's episode of Manosphere Daily. If you enjoyed the content, give it a like. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified as soon as a new video is out. Share your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.